guys hear me all right? Sound check. Let's go! Your host, Asal Tante Oso, and there you all know. Out of hibernation to entertain you all, Raider Nation. What? You heard me, and so did everyone else. Been imitated. Never duplicated. That fool with no hair. That shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! The Raider Bear! All right, get in here. What's up, fam? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you all tuning in. Raider Bear family. Listen, we're going to get right to it because I'm doing a little bit shorter show tonight because I want to go and watch the game just like everyone else. But I will be doing my touchdown shouts for the game and for the team as we get it all kicked in here. Now, not too much to report for the Raiders as far as the game. Now, Brock Bowers is probably the only thing that people are kind of holding their breath on. Brock Bowers is going to play, guys. I've been saying it since the injury because the very first report that came out was that he was fine and that he was ready to play. Now, oftentimes, you know, whenever a player's asked if you can go back in, they always say yes. You know what I mean? But at the same time, Brock Bowers, even though he's a kid, he's a mature kid, he's not going to go in there and mess with what he's doing right now, because I can tell you there's something like 5 or 6 all-time records, most total yards in his first 2 seasons, most touchdowns in his first 2 seasons, most total catches in his first 2 seasons, most games played in his first 2 seasons. All of those statistics, those 4 statistics, are within Brock Bowers' grasp. And it's not like he has to put up crazy. He's already close. His numbers are so big from his rookie season that this season he only has to play pretty good. And we know he will, and he's going to break a lot of these records. So it's pretty interesting what's going on with him. I think it's interesting. I think it's exciting because he's so close to breaking so many major tight end records that really matter, that it would be cool to see him do it. But anyway, sorry, he's listed as questionable, but he's going to play. So if you look at the injury report, though, it said Thursday and Friday that Brock didn't practice, and he didn't. But that was more about getting him rest. I mean, what is he going to learn on Thursday and Friday? You know, he already knows the offense. He's already a star. So it made more sense to not make him practice Thursday and Friday. And then, you know, he probably was in even on Wednesday, just getting STEM, which is, you know, electrical shock treatment to the muscles. They just refer to that as STEM or ice and STEM. He was probably getting a lot of that. Okay, now moving forward, Landon Roberts, linebacker elbow, did not practice on Thursday, but he had a limited Friday and then a full on Saturday. So Landon Roberts, being a veteran, he's going to go. They may limit his snaps, but he's going to go. And then last but not least, Jackson Powers Johnson. Now, they have him listed with a concussion. He did not practice on Friday or Saturday, and Thursday, which obviously they start recording on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, he did not participate with anything. In other words, not only did he not practice, he wasn't even at practice. So they basically let him stay home on Thursday, gave him an extra day before he would have needed to come out to the facilities and, in effect, not practice, just be with the team. but Friday and Saturday did not practice. He has been listed as out. Now, to be honest, I didn't see the concussion. I don't know if you guys saw the concussion. I never saw them talking about a concussion during the game. I don't remember them during the game ever bringing up anything that had anything to do with a concussion. Now, obviously, that's not a mystery. I'm not trying to make this into the JFK shooting where we look at every angle of what happened to Jackson Powers Johnson. In truth, like I said a moment ago, a player always says, yeah, coach, I can go back in. So even if he got his bell rung, even if like one of the coaches saw it and said, hey, come here, are you really okay to go? And Jackson goes, yeah, I'm ready. Well, then they're going to let him go back out there. And especially a lineman. I mean, they're the toughest of the tough. So they're going to go back out there. You know what I mean? Now, after the game, would he have said, hey, I think I might, been concussed? Yeah. And so that might have got him benched. Personally, I think it's a good idea because his gameplay was not up to par. It was good, but definitely not great. He got our quarterback hit a couple times. He definitely gave up a sack. It's just he needs some more polish, even at guard. We obviously brought him in to be the center. He struggled. We gave him the job. He struggled, and then now we had to move him to right guard. And you almost have to because you just can't bench him entirely because you're paying the guy a big contract. Okay, now moving forward, that's it. So Brock Bowers, Landon Roberts, Jackson Powers Johnson. Now, to me, that's pretty exciting. Yes, it's only week one, but we got out of week one pretty much unscathed because Brock's going to play. Landon Roberts, I'm pretty sure he's going to play. So in reality, we really only have Jackson Powers Johnson on the injured list. Now, the Chargers cannot say that. Dayon Henley, their linebacker, he was out because of illness all week. Now, it says he's questionable. So it could just be one of those things where he had a cold on Wednesday. It got bad on Thursday. On Friday, he started feeling better. On Saturday, he's calling coach and saying, I think I can go. And then Sunday, they mark him as questionable. So he'll probably be out there. Just won't be 100%. Elijah Molden, cornerback, hamstring pull, limited practice Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday did not practice at all. He has been ruled out. Whatever happened on Thursday in his limited practice must have re-aggravated it because they immediately shut him down. Great news for us because he's one of their better corners. Also, you'll remember this name, Denzel Perryman, linebacker, former Raider. Loved that guy. I hated that we let him go. He's been good for the Chargers, but he has a bad ankle. He missed all practice all week and was immediately ruled out. So their middle interior linebacker, I would say their best linebacker because they reached out for him because they had a problem there and they got him from us in free agency. So he's, in my opinion, their best middle linebacker. He's out. They're one of their better corners, Elijah Molden. He's out. Dayon Henley, by the way, I didn't mention because of his illness, he might play. He probably isn't going to be 100%, probably going to be a little bit weak. Linebacker. So they have some real issues at linebacker. And right now, statistically, they're bad against the run. In week one, they gave up a little over 100 yards. So they're averaging, I don't know how they do that, but they're averaging 98 yards a game, which is not good, obviously. You don't want to give up 98 yards to your running back. That's 15th best against the run in the league, which is about half of the league because we have 30 teams. They're 15th. But against the run, we've only given up 60 yards and are 6th. So I think we can stomp a mud hole in them and walk it dry. and at the same time, shut down their defense. Mark Vargas, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show, my champion in the house. S.A. Big Dog, you didn't even write bear. You wrote near. Even though you would have deserved a medal, I probably would have taken it from you and just given it to someone more deserving, like David Pelkliver. Not more deserving. I'm just playing with you, bro. DPC, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Carlos Maigana, what's up, man? Welcome. John Leon, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. Elizabeth Davia, what are you doing, girl? I see you celebrating about our coach turning 74. I don't care. He could be 84. If he acts like he does when we see him, I don't care if he's 94. He can come out there at 104 and be our coach. John, the Lion, Leon. What's up, John? Welcome to the show. Sorry, my camera's bouncing around. My cord got underneath my foot there. Jim Garrison, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Game day, let's go. Right? Jesse Parker, my good friend in the house and fashion designer. Tremel Henson, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Good to see you, brother. So I'm looking forward to see what Ashton Ginty is going to do tonight, because we all know that Ashton didn't have a fantastic game last week. But I would say what I've been saying to every fan: relax. That was not about Ashton Ginty. Did he miss a couple of reads? He did. I physically, with my own knowledge of the game and the way the camera sometimes gets behind the line of scrimmage and shows the running back and where he's supposed to go and how he's running, I saw at least 2 times, including the touchdown that he ran in on the 1-yard line, where he just jammed the gap when there was no hole there. And then he just got lucky and their defense couldn't get to him. And he bounced out to the right and powered his way in once a guy grabbed him and he went right through him. So he showed great strength. He showed an ability. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, sorry. I had to fix that because otherwise my camera is going to keep bouncing. But he showed an ability to power through, get that extra yard or 2 if he needed it. And there were a couple of runs where when we blocked it right for him, he kind of went right through on a right little power sweep inside power sweep, and he looked really nice. He got like 8 yards. And so I think tonight we might get to see the Raiders really showcase him, because see, the first game, I didn't see that. And I'll be honest with you, there's going to be more games like that coming up this year, guys. And you should be excited about that, because plain and simply what that means is every week Chip Kelly goes in to face another team's defense. He's not going to just walk in the door and go, yep, we're running the ball. I mean, what if the team we're playing against is the #1 run defense again in the league, but they're 27th against the pass? Well, we're going to give you a heavy dose of Geno. You know what I mean? And then a little more Geno with a little Geno on top. And then Ashton. And then Geno. I mean, it only makes sense. And that was kind of what we saw against the Patriots. The Patriots were vulnerable in their secondary. They have a lot of young players in there, just like we do. And but up front on the line and their linebackers, they were a little better. So we threw around them and, over them, and we won the game. I have a feeling, though, because the Chargers defense is a little bit soft up the middle, and that was before 2 of their linebackers got hurt, and one's not going to play and the other one's coming back from an illness. So you guys know how it feels when you get like the flu and you're sick for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Excuse me. And then Monday you go to work and suddenly, you're tired and, physically you're exhausted because you're still recovering from what you were dealing with. Arthur Munoz, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Oh, you're in Vegas. Right on, brother. Appreciate the love. I like that lid. Bob Standard said, how healthy is Bowers? I'm just going to go out on a limb, okay, because obviously that's really all anyone can do. We're not privy to his x-rays and things like that, but I think that there's some common sense here. Okay, so let me be a detective just for a second, and let's look at the evidence. Is he or is he not right now our most effective offensive weapon? I think the answer is yes. With respect to every other player on our offense, I just think right now he's kind of the guy. You know what I mean? We've got another Bolitnikov, and I don't feel like I'm going, crazy saying that, because although Bolitnikov's a proven Hall of Famer, I think we're looking at a guy that's going to be a Hall of Famer. I don't see any doubt in that. And in truth, he's going to probably drag Michael Mayer to a Hall of Fame too, because think about what defenses are going to do now to Brock Bowers. Maybe not this season, not yet, because they're not going to show us that much respect yet. But 2 seasons put together of being arguably the best tight end in football, other teams are going to start to say, hey, we got to stop that guy. If you're going to stop the Raiders, you got to stop that guy. And that's going to leave Michael Mayer open a lot, and Tucker a lot, and so on and so on and so on. And so I just see great things happening. I think Bowers is probably, Bob, I would say 80%. I'd say 80%, because we have to factor into that what he got was basically, in my opinion, if I had to guess, a contusion. In other words, someone hit him, or he hit himself and his knee into the ground, or something like that, combination of it, how he was tackled, he got banged. But I think he's okay. I think with STEM and, you know, with all, obviously all the care he would get, you know what I mean? I think he's going to be fine. I need Genty to score a touchdown to win $120. Okay. John, I think that's going to happen. I really do. I think that's going to happen, because especially when you consider the scenario, if we get into the red zone and they suck against the run, why would we risk putting it into the air if that's what they're better at right now? You know what I mean? I mean, and even their secondary's banged up because they lost one of their better cover guys, but I would still run the ball. You know what I mean? To me, it's much more demoralizing too, to the other team. It kind of takes them mentally out of the game. If you beat them up moving down the field, running the ball, mixing in a pass here and there, and then just punch it in the red zone on them. Teams hate that. You know what I mean? Because they're already exhausted, and now you're bullying them backward into the end zone. So I would love to see that tonight. DK, what's up? Welcome to the show. Dustin King. All my guys hit in the Tampa Bay game. Nice. Damn, you're rolling. Well, John, you're about to have a hell of a night then. Denton Rhodes, what's up, brother? Cape Canaveral in the house. Raiders. Okay, so you know what? I didn't even finish the list with you guys. I apologize. So there was a point I wanted to make about this. So with the Los Angeles Chargers injury list, you have Dayan Henley, Elijah Molden, Denzel Perryman, Deshaun Phillips, and Tarheeb Still. Now, of those 5 guys, 2 are out, period. Okay? The remaining 3, 2 of them are questionable, and the other one is coming off a bad calf strain. And if you didn't notice, linebacker, cornerback, linebacker, cornerback. That's their injuries, all on the defense and in the places that it hurts the most, covering the pass and stopping the run up the middle. I'm not saying we should destroy them tonight, but I want to destroy them tonight. Now, their quarterback's legit, okay? So I think there's going to be some times here where we stop their defense, and he's going to use those legs and that speed and that size of his, and he's going to get them some first downs. So don't get frustrated with that. We're going to win this game, but there's going to be some times where they move the chains because of that guy's legs. It's just, I just don't see that as something you can stop the entire game. What's up with JPJ? He was supposed to solidify our O-line for years, and now all of a sudden he seems like a head case, or maybe has some issues. Well, Jim, great question. Let me just say this. It's not his head. It's not his head. His attitude as far as a football player is more than what you want. He is tough, and he wants to fight everybody. Okay, so it's not that. It's not his aggressiveness. It's not his willingness to play. It's not even, that whole like get him fired up kind of thing. He doesn't need that from coaches. He enters the game fired up. So it's not that. So I just want to get that out of the way, because I feel like that could be like kind of an insult to him if we were saying it was in his head, like especially with a rookie. So I don't think it's that. What it is, and we have to recognize this, and I want more than Jim Garrison to hear this, okay? The college ranks always sends their players up flawed. They don't really prepare them for the NFL. Now, they'll have some schools that'll run NFL defenses. They'll have some schools that'll run NFL offenses, some running both. But what they don't do is teach them. They just tell them, go out there, we're running a cover 2 shell. Okay, well, why are we running it, coach? And what formation are we running it against? And why does that work against that? See, they're not going to teach you that. When they have a quarterback like Tim Tebow, who was a perfect example, RG3, who's a perfect example, they came from the college ranks from winning coaches and winning systems that didn't want to change their quarterback at all. They just took the wins and sent him up to the NFL. Johnny Manziel, perfect example, could not memorize a playbook. It was exposed in his second season. The coaching staff didn't care. They just force-fed him a small little a la carte style, like menu, a kid's menu of 10 plays or so, because that's all he could keep in his mind with all the cadence. Red, 33, right, 2, Omaha, blue, set. What play is that? You know what I mean? So he would just go out there, call out the name of the play, and then run around and make people miss him until he saw someone open, and then he'd hurl it or run down the field. That was Johnny Manziel. And yet everyone clapped and gave him the Heisman because no one realized that he was running busted plays on almost every play. How many of you that didn't know that about Johnny Manziel? I love telling that story because I reported the hell out of him. Because remember, the Raiders might have drafted him. He was a quarterback coming out of college, so I had to really know. And I found interviews from coaches of his that said, we wanted to choke him when he'd be running back from the field to the sideline, and it would be after touchdowns. And they would want to choke Johnny to death. And they couldn't because the crowd's going crazy. The administrator of the school's jumping up and down. Your rich benefactor, 5 feet away, who sends millions to the school, is going crazy and shouting at Johnny. And now you're going to go over to him and start yelling at him? Not if you want to keep your job. And that's what happens with these college kids. So they don't get an education. Okay, so now the reason I built all that up for you, sorry, I apologize, but it was to explain this. JPJ doesn't understand how to figure out who the mic is. In other words, the blitzer on a play. He doesn't know how to recognize to call out those protections and then prepare the offensive line and then snap the ball with the quarterback. He doesn't know how to do that. He was in an offense where he just walked up, sat down in his stance, grabbed the ball with his hand, and then just waited for his quarterback to call the play. And then they would snap the ball and college kids would drop back and block. And most of the time, you're blocking guys that aren't going to make it to the NFL. Because on any given team, most of them have 1, maybe 2 guys that are going to go to the NFL, maybe 3. If you're a place like Alabama, maybe you have 4, but they're not at the same position. One's a wide receiver, one's a running back, one's a quarterback, one's a linebacker. So when the other team is playing against Alabama, they're facing a lot of guys that are good, but not necessarily guys that are going to go to the pros, with a handful of guys who will. And so the pressure's not on a guy like Tim Tebow. He's playing against guys that are going to be working at Walmart in 6 months. There's nothing wrong with working at Walmart. I'd work at Walmart. I'm just saying it's not pro football. Montezuma's revenge. You know what? Let's hope, Matt, because you don't come back from that quickly. Michael Purify, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Armando Madrano said, "Hey, Bear, we ready?" I love that. I think we are. I do. I think we are. And Michael, I think Ginty's going to have a good night. Put butts in him. Wait a minute, SA. Wait a second. You can't put foots in me. I do the foot putting. That sounded weird. A bunch of adults may still have issues from the Brazil trip. Uh-oh. Raider Joe, what's up, Raider Bear? We got to get this win. Raider Joe, first, we Joes got to stick together. Second, I think we can do this. I just don't think it's going to be easy. I think it will be one of those games that's kind of a little bit of a roller coaster, 27-24, 31-27, somewhere in that range. I think we're going to score tonight. So if that's what you're worried about, don't worry about that. I think we're going to put up points tonight. The real question is, will the Chargers be able to keep up with us? I don't think there's any doubt we're going to put up points tonight. It's just whether or not our defense will be able to put enough of that thing 10 toes down on these Chargers and, keep them from really having a great game. I'm only wearing my AJ Cole jersey tonight. Everyone just ignore that. Everyone just ignore that. Appreciate the love, Michael Guerrero. Gino is an indoor quarterback master. And not only that, Did anyone notice that Pete Carroll in the post-game press conference said to one of the reporters who asked him about Geno, he went, "Hey man, that's Geno. What are you acting surprised for? Go back and look at his stats. He's always 70 something percent. He's always right around 300 yards or over, and he always gives us a touch or two. What do you guys been watching?" He said it like the reporters were clueless. It's Geno Smith. Have you been watching them these last few years working for me? He's been working for me the last 3 years. 2 out of the last 3 seasons, he was like damn near Pro Bowler. Richard Sherman, okay, his former player of Pete Carroll, said Geno Smith's a top 5 quarterback right now in this league. Top 5. Why would he say that? He's got no love for Geno. Richard Sherman, I don't even think Richard Sherman was still with the Seahawks when Geno, yeah, I'm pretty sure he wasn't. He was with the Niners when Geno Smith went to the Seahawks. So Richard Sherman's just an analyst being honest at this point. And he said, and I quote, Geno Smith's top 5 quarterback in this league. He didn't qualify it. He didn't say names. He just said he's top 5, period. I'm like, okay. Vince Picks, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. We're going to get it going right now. This game's about to start. Ellis Irving, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always appreciate it when you drop in. Alex Gonzalez, what's up? Welcome to the show. You guys ever heard of that guy, Owen Daniels, kind of famous actor? Yeah. And then you know that other guy, Owen Hart, the wrestler, he tragically died when he fell from the ceiling above. Yeah. And then there's Travis Kelce. He's my favorite Owen because he's Owen too. A joke that good, I get my own touchdown dance. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. It was just good. Bobby Ware, what's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Matt Marinovich, Tommy Boy with the Saudi Prince is pulling out a flag football league next spring. I think honestly, Matt Marinovich, I think he's a disgrace. I really do. I think he's a laughingstock. It shocks me that he even still does things in public. He should be embarrassed. His career in college was a farce. He was just some guy running around with his hair on fire, throwing the ball. He was like college Fran Tarkington. See, Matt Marinovich, you're old enough to get that reference. And I have a handful of other guys that, watch my show that will get that Fran Tarkington reference. But for those kids here today, I would have said Michael Vick, scrambling all over the place and then throwing the ball and getting a bunch of yardage. But yet it amounts to not much because really didn't win the division. I don't think too many times did Michael Vick, or no Super Bowls. And, so running around going crazy with your hair on fire quarterbacks don't impress me, white or black. I don't. I'm not with it. I mean, I like Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson is the closest we've gotten to the combination quarterback that can run and beat you with his legs, but also is a competent thrower. But he is still obviously a better runner than thrower. He still hasn't gotten his arm to where it should be. Now, I want to be careful when I say that, because if I say that, it carries weight with people and they think that I'm right and so on. And it's not just, I want to be clear. He is an accurate quarterback. I don't like when people say that about him. It's not that he's not accurate. He's not consistent. He's accurate. He's just not consistently accurate. So if you ask him to throw the hook 5 times, he'll get it there 3. And the other 2, he won't. But those 2 could be touchdowns or first downs. And that's Lamar Jackson's biggest issue. Will Nanoff, what's up? Welcome to the show. Raiders. Chris Moffitt said, what's up, Raider Bear? Hope you and your family are doing well today. Go Raiders. Hey, Chris, I really appreciate the love, brother. Raider Nation. Appreciate you. And actually, we're doing really good. Actually, my son just got a new job. He started last week. He's doing great. He's making money. He loves it. My daughter's making money. She has not only does she have a good job, but she even has an internet side hustle she's been doing. And she sold a computer and some really valuable collector stuff. And she has more, and it's almost turning into a store for her now, and just super proud of her. And my wife's killing it. And, at her job, she's the best they have. And they say it to me all the time. If we lost your wife, our whole company could collapse. I was like, geez, really? I knew she was good, but damn. Yeah, Raider Joe, I agree. We got to win this game because the Chiefs have given us and the Broncos have given us an opening. I'm starting to see things about the Broncos that worry me. I don't love Bo Nix, but I do like him. I like Bo Nix. Bo Nix is looking like what I thought our guy was going to be. Aiden O'Connell. I just thought Aiden O'Connell was going to be Bo Nix. Gritty, doesn't always throw the prettiest ball, doesn't always look like the most gifted guy, but knows how to get away from pressure because he sees it, knows how to roll right or left and get his hips right and throw accurately, can throw for a high percentage, may not have the super deep, throw the bomb ball, but can throw routes that can turn into distance. That's like a bomb. If it's a 40-yard bomb, what difference does it make if I throw it 13 yards, 15 yards on an open slant and he takes it 40, because he was wide open on the play and the execution of the throw and so on and so forth. But it just hasn't worked out. But I think Bo Nix might be legitimate. JPJ will not last long. He has concussion issues every year. John, yeah, I'm starting to hear that. But more importantly, he did not come in schooled enough to understand what he's seeing to call out the protections on the offensive line. That worries me, because if you're trying to learn at this level, it's not likely you're going to learn at this level. What am I looking at, baby?
My brother's at the Raider game.
My brother's at the Raider game.
And
tell him I hate him.
Look, this is what he.
And I'm super jealous.
All beer cans. Oh, that's beer cans.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Hold it up to the camera. Show's pretty much over. No, show them the beer cans.
Oh, wrong photo. Sorry, guys. I gotta kind of blow it up, but
no, that's funny. Do it. There you go, right there. There you go. Now look at all the dead soldiers.
That's all the beer
I'm
cans.
even seeing bottles in there too. Raider Nation be just some drunks, okay?
That's hella funny.
All right, that's my time, guys. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy in this love is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. Have a great day tonight. I'll be watching and I'll be posting my touchdown shout videos as we score. Hope and pray for my voice, please. I think I'm going to need it. At least tonight I'm going to. I'm ready.